5 players that Newcastle have signed for under 5 million the past 30 years. Players missing out in today's video are Demba Ba, Yohan Gabai, Ayoze Perez, Hatton Ben Arfa. Yes, hello everyone, hope you're doing alright. Welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. So yes, players do not make my list. I want to know what you are thinking in the comments below. Demba Ba, yes, he scored 29 goals in 2.5 seasons for Newcastle when he first joined. Free agent after not getting signed on by West Ham. 16 goals in his first season, 13 in his next season. Of course, we all know he was shifted out to the left-hand side when Papis Demba Cisse arrived. Cisse went on that crazy run, scoring goals for fun when he first joined, but Demba Ba a free. What a buy he was. And then Chelsea triggered his release clause, and of course he moved on for 7 million. Yohan Gabai doesn't even make my top 5 list. Signed for just under 5 million, about 4.5 from Lille. They were champions, of course, when they had the likes of Eden Hazard in their side as well, who's recently retired. Gabai for Linchpin was a creator, especially that season where we finished 5th. Creator of everything, scoring free kicks, dictating the play, technician. That forward line of, Cisse, Ba, Ben Arfa, Tio in midfield alongside Gabai was something to be. So it was just a joy to watch. And yes, we know that he wanted to move to Arsenal. Yes, he got his move to Paris eventually, but even he doesn't make it. Never did even Ayoze Perez make my list. Signed for 1.8 million. 1.8 million was sold him for a release fee of 30 million when he went to Leicester. Now look, that looks like great business because his career's kind of dwindled, but 48 goals in 195 appearances. What's that? 1-4. The record, obviously, remember him scoring that hat-trick against, I think, was Southampton at home at St James's Park. It was a scapegoat for a few fans when Newcastle didn't play well, but playing that number 10 role, ended up being the top scorer before he left the club. A bargain, absolute bargain for 1.8 million. Ayoze Perez. Hatton Ben Arfa doesn't make the list either because he was signed for 5 million. So remember, this video is under. You've got to be under 5 million. Signed for Marseille. And so who is number 1? Best for pound player for under 5 million. Robert Lee. It's got to be Rob Lee. It has to be. Signed for just over £700,000. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. When you think of the 10 years that he had, made over 345 appearances, scoring loads of goals. Kevin Keegan tricked him into believing that Newcastle was closer to London than it was at Middlesbrough. Of course, he was a Charlton lad, played on the wing. Came up Newcastle as a right winger, converted into a centre midfield, attacker midfielder, scoring goals for fun. Got on the England side, scored on his debut, if you remember, against Romania in that draw at Wembley. So absolutely fantastic. And then later in his career, he dropped further back into a defensive midfield role. Captain of the club, Alan Shearer's best mate. What a signing, what a servant for Newcastle United. And of course, he does all the talkings. He's a pundit occasionally on TV talking about Newcastle United. Despite him being a Cockney, he's a good Cockney, We do like him up here in Newcastle. So Rob Lee, for me, is the best signing, pound for pound, for under 5 million. Absolutely incredible. What a player. Let me know how you think. And of course, if you disagree with me, come on then. Get in the comments and tell me who your top 5 are in order for under 5 million. Number 2 on my list is Shay Given. My God. Under 2 million, signed by Kenny Dalglish. I think the figure was something like 1.5 million, to be fair. 463 appearances. He could have went on and smashed that record if he hung about. He was so annoyed with Mike Ashley, how the club weren't progressing, and he was man of the match numerous of times. He got in team of the season twice. And Newcastle were leaking goals left, right and centre. He had look who he had in front of him. It wasn't really a defence, was it? And Newcastle were getting battered by 3s and 4s, and he was still turning up man of the match. I remember one game, we got beat off Liverpool. Liverpool pulled 5 past us, and he got man of the match. That goes to show you. The best goalkeeper at my time. People talk about Tim Krul, and Steve Harper had a good spell, and, we've got Nick Pope now, but they're miles behind Shay Given. Shay Given's way out in front. He is unbelievable the amount of times he kept Newcastle in the game. And not just that, worldy saves where you think, nah, top corner job, you're never going to save this. And then he just flings himself and saves it. Unbelievable, Shay Given. What a buy. Kenny Dalglish's best buy up there with 1 or 2 others as well. Notably, Gary Speed doesn't make this list either because he was signed for over 5 million as well. Number 3 is Peter Beardsley. Oh my God. Peter Beardsley was signed for 1.5 million. 1.5 million when we just got promoted from the old Division 1 into the Premier League in 93, 94. Obviously, Andy Cole was signed in the previous season, but Peter Beardsley signed £1.5 million from Everton, and Andy Cole scored 42 goals in the season that we first come up. And Peter Beardsley contributed to tons and tons of Andy Cole's goals. Not just that, where he played as the number 10. If you compare him to Lionel Messi, a lot of Newcastle fans do, because he has similar types of goals to Lionel Messi, where you'll go past 3 or 4 players in tight spaces and put it away. Not just that, you would create as well, like Lionel Messi. You would score wonder goals as well from 25, 30 yards out, sometimes from impossible angles. What a player. And then obviously later in his career, he dropped further back into centre field when we signed Alan Shearer. But what a player Pedro was, scoring over 117 goals for Newcastle United. Of course, he left in 1997 and had spells at Bolton and, of course, Kevin Keegan at Fulham. But what a player, man. I'm privileged to see the end of his career, but oh my God, Pedro was something else like. Fourth on this list is Nobi Solano. I smile when he talk about Nobi Solano because I love Nobi Solano. Think of him like Beckham, because he doesn't have great pace on that right-hand side, but by God, both can whip a ball in. Solano was signed for £3.5 million from Boca Juniors, where he played with Maradona famously. 315 appearances over 2 spells, chipping in for massive 78 assists and 48 goals. Unbelievable. Should never have left to go Aston Villa for a short period of time. And that, yes, we did bring him back, which was brilliant. But honestly, man, he was the technique. He's the best technician I've seen in Newcastle the last 30 years. Hands down. The goals he scored were absolutely incredible. Outside the boot goals against Everton, Arsenal, free kicks. His crossing from the right was just... Shearer loved him. Shearer absolutely fucking loved Solano. And not just that, his technique. Like, he volleyed the crosses back in as well with his side foot. I mean, that's so hard to do. Solano was just brilliant, filling it right back for you. Had no pace, but he didn't need to. Just his brain upstairs was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm pleased I've witnessed Nobi Solano play that many times, because he is a joy to watch. Number 5, and it's the last one. And it's not David Ginola. No, it's not him. No, it's not Fabian Schär. It has to be, I've already mentioned him so far, it's got to be Andy Cole. Signed for well under £2 million from Bristol City. He got us to the Premier League at the back end of the 92 season. Scoring goals for fun in the old First Division. Come up to the Premier League with the help of Peter Beardsley behind him. 42 goals in his debut season in the top tier. Absolutely incredible. Started the next season off on fire in the 94-95 season. That Alex Ferguson, the champions of Manchester United, had to come and get him. They wanted him to be their star player alongside Eric Cantona. £7 million deal. Keith Gillespie came the other way. My first ever memory is Andy Cole being sold to Manchester United. I was just getting into football, so young. And I just remember it being around about January time. And Newcastle sold Andy Cole, and I just felt deflated. It was my first real bit of pain as a young fan. And we sold Andy Cole, so that's my first ever memory. Back in January 1995, selling Andy Cole. But my God, man, he just scored goals for fun. His rate wasn't as high at Manchester United, despite him playing with arguably probably better calibre of players. But that spell of about 2.5 years for Newcastle, he just ripped it apart. If he stayed longer and his tenure was there, he would have been higher up on my list. But I cannot put Andy Cole in this top 5. I have to put him in there. And there you have it, everyone. That is my top 5 in order. I want to know what yours is. The players that have missed out, are you going to disagree with that? But those are my top 5 players. I think unbelievable bargains that Newcastle have found over the last 30 years. Remember, these players are under 5 million. Absolutely a steal, all of them on this list. Incredible buys for Newcastle United. We all know that the inflation of the transfer market has just boomed. And it's very, very rare that you're going to get a player under 5 million nowadays. But there you go, everyone. That's my list. Drop us a like on this video here on the international break. See you later, everyone. Ta-da.